Welcome to a Fantasy Fan Sportscast with Easy and Lou Landers. Now enjoy the show, but don't forget our safe word.
And welcome to the Legend Sports Network. This is Easy, and you're listening to a Fantasy Fan Sportscast, the Easy on a Sunday morning edition on the Legend Sports Network, live at LennyMelnickFantasySports.com. Come join us live in the chat room. Give us your sit-start questions. I am joined with my Sunday co-host, Lou Landers. Lou, have you been up early watching football already?
Oh, yeah, I've been up since 6:15 on the West Coast. I wasn't going to miss this football game. I can't miss a football game, even if I have something more important to do. It takes a backseat every single week, Easy. And, hey, don't forget, I was your guest host on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. That was a guest host, and it went very well. I mean, very well. I mean, we had fun. We threw that together in about 5-10 minutes, I think. We had a blast. Like I said, you know enough, and I know enough dumb questions. So the combination of those two things can fill time, right?
Definitely, my man. I like your Bengals shirt you have on today.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, my were number 2 Buckeyes let me down last night. See, so I was up late last night watching, unfortunately, a game I could have gone to bed early. So, I have to root my Bengals on late tonight. That'll be one of the later games maybe we talk about. Because I don't know there's many start-sit questions in that game, because I think in that game, if you have anybody on those teams, you're starting them. So let's start there. Are you starting everybody on the Bengals, or are you starting everybody on the Chiefs?
Hell yeah, I am. You nailed that right on the head, man. Going to be a lot of points. I think you got to start absolutely every single player you have there. We can run through them quickly. I mean, you got Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes on one side. You got Dalton, Mixon, Green, Boyd, and even Uzoma, the tight end.
I mean, I put my Bengals DFS lineup in and actually was able to squeeze in. I went with Hill and Watkins and Green. I dropped Boyd because Watkins was cheaper, and I was just trying to, if the game goes off, we'll see.
Sunday, Monday slate?
Yes, the Sunday, Monday. No, I think it was the all-day Sunday. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was an all-day Sunday. I could be wrong. I don't pay much attention. I just knew I had to click a few different things because I couldn't find Bengals the first time.
I was going to say, if you're going to do a Bengals stack and want a chance to win, the Sunday, Monday primetime slate might be the best way to go. It's just those two games.
Yeah, but then you can't win much money. I mean, if the Bengals, Kansas, and now here's my deal. We'll go right here with this because it just came over as we were getting ready to go on, and that's that Duke Johnson is listed as the Brown starter. Is that just because is Nick Chubb still playable in DFS and or in standard? Because that trade was one of the first things I had to talk about anyway if we didn't have any start-sit right off the bat.
I would say that Chubb is still a must-start if you own him. What he's done so far with limited action has been very good. The Bucs are not a good defense, both passing and rushing the football. So, yeah, I like Chubb quite a bit. In DFS, even more. On DraftKings, at least, he's under $4,000. That's as good a steal as you're going to find.
I literally that day traded. I'm not going to know all the details. Long story short, I got Lynch, who that day we found out was going to be out probably 4 weeks. I knew I was going to lose him for a week or two, but I gave up Duke Johnson, who obviously now's got more. At the time that trade hadn't gone through. So, Lynch, Duke Johnson, there was a few more things involved. So I'm still not. It's not a terrible trade, but I'm like, I might not have traded Duke Johnson if I had thought about it.
Mahomes or Brady? I'd go Mahomes today.
I would too. Like I said, I dropped Brady, or didn't drop him. I just didn't play him in one of my leagues where I had Rivers, which right now Rivers seems to be paying off for me. If I keep turning my head, I know we're live on YouTube. I'm watching the game because I need Keenan Allen.
Yeah, Keenan Allen. He's done okay today. It looks like Easy got frozen, so I'm not sure if you guys can still hear us or not. But yeah, Andrea with Mahomes and Brady. For me, Brady obviously is as good as it gets, but he's on the road versus the Bears. Tough defense. Mahomes at home, and they've been about as good as it gets, the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's what I got there. I'm not sure if everyone's lost sound because Easy's still frozen on my end. So I'm just going to talk for a while about absolutely nothing. In this football game that we've seen today with the Chargers and the Tennessee Titans, Mike Williams has a nice long touchdown catch. Keenan Allen's done some stuff as well. Phillip Rivers, really the only person with 20-plus points in this game at this point. Looks like the Chargers are close to wrapping this football game up, but we'll have to see going forward. No video for Lou. Well, there was video for Lou until I just randomly lost Easy. He's frozen on my screen. I get to see his pretty mug just frozen, mouth open. Looks like he's ready to insert something into that mouth. So what we have any questions here, guys? Because honestly, I frankly am here doing this show for Easy asking me all these questions. Without Easy, I have nothing prepared. I mean, I could talk my DFS lineups again, but you all heard that yesterday. Sexy Sunday, start him, sit him. Guess Darren. That has to be AA. And guess Suzanne, I'm in the shower. That's got to be Cha-Cha, because he's the only one that would want to give us that weird, disgusting visual. No offense, Cha-Cha. I just do not want to think about that, period. So I guess let me just pull some crap out of my ass here, guys. This week, of course, we know how good Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs are, but they have a really good matchup versus the New York Jets this week. The Jets 30th against the wide receivers in fantasy football. So that's a good start. I really like a Cousins, Thielen, and Diggs stack in DFS. Dallas or Colts defense. The Colts are interesting because they're facing the Bills, and Bills are starting a quarterback that's coming off the street this week. I think from a floor point of view, the Cowboys defense is more secure, but from a big play standpoint, I would definitely go Indianapolis Colts. They have a chance to make a lot more happen. And I'm saying this as I'm wearing a Bills jersey. It says Shady on the back for Shady McCoy. It is my lovely fiance's jersey. She's from Buffalo. Megan is a huge Bills fan, and I decided to support her team today. So Shady McCoy, Bills jersey, Bills hat on. I actually own Shady in a league, so maybe this will jumpstart him. Who knows? I'm going to go the superstitious route there. So Alvin Kamara, there's been a few questions about him the past 2 weeks because, one, he had an injury, then Ingram came back and he saw his shares go down a ton. Then they had a bye, and this week the Ravens, they go up against the Ravens. Ravens, the best defense versus the running backs in fantasy this season. However, that might hurt Mark Ingram. Not even sure it will, but it certainly should not hurt Kamara. I expect to see a lot of PPR points coming from Kamara, lots of dump offs from Drew Brees to Kamara. So it should be a pretty good situation for Alvin Kamara. I wouldn't be nervous about him. I really like Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods this week as well from the wide receiver standpoint. Always love the Rams, especially in a good matchup. But Cooper Kupp is out. That just means more looks for Cooks and for Woods in the Patriots and the Bears game. So the Bears are really good against the run this year, and I think that might hurt Sony Michel. But similar to my Kamara and Ingram take, I think that's not a bad thing for James White, because James White doesn't rush the ball much anyway. He is used much more as a pass catcher, so I wouldn't be scared of James White versus the Bears. However, I would potentially look to replace Sony Michel. Naheem Hines or Barber, asks Andrea. I would have said Naheem Hines a few weeks ago, but the Colts running back situation they're all kind of healthier now, kind of cuts into it. I like Peyton Barber this week. I talked about him yesterday being a kind of a sleeper in DFS as well. Bucks can't seem to stop anybody. Barber had his best game of the year last week with a healthy Jameis Winston starting at quarterback. I would see what Barber could do. I think there's a very high ceiling for him, a touchdown, maybe 80 rushing yards, 3-4 catches, 40 yards through the air. So I think he's a guy who can put up 20 points for you, especially if he gets that touchdown. Hines, very dependent on the dump offs from Andrew Luck, but with Mac there, and I'm honestly blanking on the other guys. Where is Easy? He's not making this easy for me today at all. I do not see him. I do not know where he is. It says he's waiting for people to join this video call. I mean, I'm all here on my lonesome, and I was stuck watching this game here today, so I legitimately have absolutely not one note in front of me here. So people, help me out. Ask me questions. Doesn't even have to be football related. Just ask me any questions imaginable, and I'll just pull answers out of my tuchus. So Jameis Winston is a very popular play today versus the Browns. However, I actually like Baker Mayfield more today. Again, that Bucs defense could not be worse right now. They fired their defensive coordinator. Not even sure it's going to make much of a difference anyway. But Baker Mayfield, he is kicking butt. Bengals or Falcons defense? Definitely Falcons, because the Bengals are facing the Chiefs, and the Chiefs put up a ton of points. At least the Falcons are at home. They host